When you first open Cura, you'll want to create a new project. This is called the build plate. It has the same size as the build plate on the 3D printer where your part is actually being built. First thing I need to do is select the 3D printer I'm going to use. I'll choose the Bambu Lab A1. Next, let's bring in our part that we created in our 3D design program. I'm going to hit this button here. It's the Add button. I'm going to look for my part. Now I have some options. I can move the part around the build plate if I want by selecting the Move command and pulling on one of the arrows. I can rotate the part. I can scale it by selecting the corner. And now, something very important, I need to determine which way this part is going to rest on the build plate. I'll select it, and this button here, Lay on Face, gives me options. I can lay it out inside, I can lay it on the end. What really determines this is if you need support material or not. Here's what I mean by support material. Let's put it back this way. And now let's slice this plate. What slicing does is it calculates all of the different layers that it takes to build this thing. The 3D printer uses layers by layer by layer by layer to slowly build this from bottom to top. So now I click Slice Plate. Now I get this warning. It seems the object has floating regions. Please reorient the object and enable support generation. Here's what that means. As the 3D printer is building this layer by layer by layer by layer, it can only build upon itself, the layer underneath it. Once it gets up to here, now it doesn't have anything underneath in this hole in the part that it can lay that first layer on. So you need something called support material. I'm going to go over here. I have options, quality, strength, speed, support. Let's click support. Enable support. I check that, and now I have some options, normal or tree. Let's take a look at the difference. I'm going to select normal. I'm going to slice the plate. I didn't get any warning messages. Let's collapse this. We'll talk about this in a moment. And now you can see everything in green is the support material. After the 3D print is done, this support material just easily breaks away. You can use your hands just to dig it out, or a scissors or something like that. That support material gives a 3D printer the ability to print in areas where there's typically nothing underneath. Now let's look at the other type of support, the tree support. I'm going to slice plate again, and you can see sometimes it takes a moment. Let's collapse this again. So the tree support looks a little different. Tree support typically uses less filament material and is appropriate for certain types of prints. Something like this you just have to experiment with to determine which one is right for you, tree or normal. And always choose auto. All right, let's go back to prepare. I'm going to select this. I'm going to select Lay on Face. I'm going to choose the side face. Now let's see what happens when we turn off the support. I'm going to slice it again. It says, warning, it seems the object has floating cantilever. Please reorient the object and enable support generation. So that means there's something here that needs support below it. And it's right in this area here. So let's enable support. I'm going to slice it again. Now you can see we're using a lot less support, but we don't need support anywhere else. Sometimes your part will need support, sometimes it doesn't, but that's what slicing virtually here shows. Now, my part is ready for the 3D printer.